So when I went to uni, I went to go to the cheerleading thing, and I was just like, I cannot stand on a table cheating on a night out. I was just like, I can't sign my name to that. So my brother had started doing Thai boxing when he was about 16. He's 2 years older than me. So he was training at Stirling Uni. They had a Thai boxing club, and he's like, you should come along to this. Yeah, I loved it, but I was like, I will never spar. I was like, no way, I'm not getting my face messed up. I will never spar. And I remember saying to my brother, like, oh, the girls here are so good. And there was like 2 of them. And he was like, you'll be better in a month. And he was right. I went along, and then I remember he was fighting on a show, like a local show. And actually the first ever female fight that I saw was Ailsa Curry, who's like a Thai boxer, who I like ended up being really good friends with. Yeah, I remember watching it and just thinking, that is savage. I felt like it gave me confidence. It gave me, honestly, it changed my life.
This week I'm joined by Vari, the busy mum PT. Vari, thanks very much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
How are you?
I am good. Yeah.
I liked your wee video that you had yesterday with your son on a high level.
Yeah. It was super cute, wasn't it?
Aye.
This was for his presentation, because he has one to do for Friday for school, and they get to pick the format and the topic, and I'm like, what do you want to do it on? And he's like, ninjas. I was like, great, like, what am I supposed to do? And he's also like 6, as in just turned 6, so how is he supposed to research? Like, they can't do independent research, but I wanted him to like do what he wanted to do, so I was like, I have an idea, I used to be a ninja. I can sort this out. And it was just like the cutest thing. I wasn't even going to post it, but it was so cute. And all the guys at higher level were so cute to him and so nice. And he's buzzing. He ran straight in this morning to his teacher and was like, guess what? And then, this was really sad actually, his classmates didn't believe him, because they said they told him that ninjas are from China. It's so sad.
So is the class getting to watch the wee clip?
So on Friday they're going to eat their words. They're going to be like, oh, actually look at those big muscly guys and gal. Yeah.
I was surprised to see James. Like, it's not really something that James gets involved with much, is it?
No.
Speaking on the microphone.
No, not at all. But I feel like, yeah, he would do it for Sonny. Yeah, he would do it for my wee boy. But yeah, James showed up for it, didn't he? They got the nunchucks out and everything. And I'm like, this is your idea of hell, but this is great. And it made it even more enjoyable to do.
When did you post it? I think I seen it like first thing in the morning, and I was like looking at my phone
yeah.
with my eye half shut, and then the next thing I see James with the nunchucks out.
I know, I schedule all my content for 5 o'clock in the morning, so it's all like pre-done, although last night I did that last night and posted it this morning. But yeah, 5 o'clock in the morning, you can always expect a post from me.
Why 5 o'clock then? Is that for America or?
No, I don't know. I just I figure like when people, like especially mums, like they're normally up early because of their kids, so when they wake up, first thing they do is check their phone. Here I am, sign up.
Aye.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing well with your Instagram, and I've noticed that your following's going up. You're getting a lot of...
Yeah, well, like I started off 2 months ago. Came online. There was like 200 something, and yeah, now we're like, I think at like 800s.
44.
Thank you.
Was that 844?
Yeah, hopefully more after this. But yeah, it goes up quite rapidly, and it, like when I started like 2 months ago, it was like people I knew, and now it's like people that I don't know, and it's like really nice to know that people believe in me, want to like follow along for the journey, want to sign up. Like it's been really nice. Really nice.
And a lot of people like communicating with you, commenting, getting people that you don't know that are just getting involved.
Yeah, it's like it's honestly been like crazy, the support, and I can't keep up with the messages. That's the one thing I'll say. It's like it's quite hard, but I do always get back to people, and if I ever miss a message, like please just message me again, because there's a lot of messages at the minute. But yeah, like just like it's overwhelming, the response. Like people, I've got strangers messaging me being like, oh, like I know I don't know you, but it's nice to see you smiling again. I've got people messaging me like telling me like all sorts of things that they've been through, and that's quite hard. And like again, it was unexpected. I didn't really expect to like talk about certain things that have happened in my life, and but the fact that I have, and people are trusting me now with like their stories and everything, and but yeah, I have found it quite a big responsibility that I didn't really even imagine that, I don't know, this is where it would lead to, but people are sort of trusting me to tell me their like trauma, I guess, and I'm really grateful, and if I can help them I will do my utmost. But it is like, the messages is crazy, and the support. The best message I got, you'll see my post about it, was it was actually two. One was that I'm a smiling human form. I love that. And the other one's this is someone I used to work with years ago, not seen in, I don't know, 10 plus years, and she was like, you're just always someone that seemed to have glitter in their veins, and like, I'm so sad, but I'm so glad to see that you're back. And so I'm going to get that tattooed. One of my like Momentum for Mums members said to me, like, you should get that tattooed so that you never forget again. So I'm going to get glitter in my veins.
Have you got any tattoos?
No.
So this will be your first tattoo?
No, it's not my first tattoo, but like, past that question.
Alright.
That got me off guard.
Well, just it's an experience getting a tattoo, isn't it? The first thing.
I mean, I got one when I was 17, and
right.
No, maybe 18, but yeah, the left side about it.
Right, okay. I could imagine the trend that you're talking about.
Right.
I think what a lot of people, well, especially women, find inspirational about you is, you were an MMA champion. You were a pioneer in women's MMA in Scotland. You've went through a lot. You're essentially a single mum now with 3 really young kids.
Yeah.
1 year old, I believe.
1, 4 and 6.
Aye. And you're doing all this on your own with a smile on your face. I think that's what women are getting from your Instagram, and that's why they can like feel like that, although they don't know you, but they feel like they're coming along the journey with you, like you said. So
yeah, I think that's what the feedback has been, that it's like nice to see someone being authentic and not hiding. And I think I've been very, very guilty of that in the past, just hiding behind a smile and acting like everything's perfect, everything's good, and I really beat myself up about that for a long time. But I think like I've had it explained to me that it's like a coping mechanism, essentially, like survival. I don't know, it's just easier. I think vulnerability has never really felt safe to me, it's never been well received. So when I came back online, and I guess I've had like a lot of time in the past like year and a half, whatever, to retrain my brain in a lot of ways, do a lot of like healing, growing. And when I came back online, I was like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to be authentic, I'm going to be like unapologetically myself for the first time probably in my life. And I think people can really relate to it, and a lot of like mums in particular, the struggles they go through, or they compare themselves to people. So to see somebody that's not got their shit together, like isn't perfect, like my house isn't pristine, I'm like a mess some days, like I think they find that quite nice in a world full of like influencers and like your aesthetic girlies, and I think they find it quite nice. And people just really seem to back me, and I don't quite get it myself fully, but I'm glad, I'm thankful.
You come across really genuine. I think that's what people can like about you. Yeah,
and I think I've like, this is the thing, there's no bad sides to me, and I'm the same. What you see is what you get. I'm the same online as I am in person. And I've always been, and everywhere I go I make like friends, genuinely everywhere I go I make friends, and it's such an easy thing for me to do. And like my mum used to say that like when I was at high school I'd bring home a stray a day, and even when I was at primary school the teachers would say that I would just like, if they put a bin at every corner of the classroom, I would just like carousel my way down to find someone new to chat to, and it's just who I am. And I think like the reason why I get on with everyone is because I just don't have an ego, like I don't care, like I'm quite happy to make fun of myself, I'm quite happy to like be a beginner, like things don't faze me. If someone's better than me, I'm never jealous or bitter, or I just want to train with them, or I want to be friends with them to learn how. And I think when people meet me, like they see that straight away in me, and that's why. And I once got told that I walk into a room and say like, accept me please to everyone, and I was like really embarrassed by the fact that I'm like this, and I was like, oh my god, that is really embarrassing, and am I like that? And I felt like I had to make myself smaller, and now I'm like, no, like it's actually a nice thing. Like I walk into a room and I can light it up just by being friendly to people, and like being on a level with people. I don't see myself like above anyone ever or below anyone, and I'm glad that comes like across, and I'm glad it comes through. Like I am who I am, and people can relate to that. Yeah.
Do you think people in the past have taken advantage of that kindness?
Yeah, massively. I think I grew up like, and I had like the nicest upbringing. Like I really I find it tragic the way my life kind of turned out, because it shouldn't have. But yeah, I grew up with like the nicest parents who are just the most like genuine, selfless. Like they do nothing for themselves, they do everything for my brother and I and the people around them. But that being said, they very much had like high expectations of me, and like I guess it's just like probably how we were all raised, like our generation. But you're raised to be people pleasers, like to like suppress your own needs and wants to, I don't know, it's like good girl conditioning they call it. Have you heard of that? Oh god,
good girl.
Like it's this good girl conditioning. Yeah, right. So it's like be polite, be kind, don't speak out. You know, like if I was ever bitching, it was like, don't ever bitch, like don't do that, that's rude. Like I don't know, I was just raised to be a very good person, but I think I wasn't raised to be a strong person, an assertive person. So I think I've always really struggled with being assertive, and this is like humiliating to admit, but a psychologist actually made me do an assertive module, because I'm just so used to like suppressing my needs for others and like not withholding my boundaries. And the thing is, I do have boundaries, everyone's got them, and like self-respect, but I just think I'm so used to, I don't know, suppressing them. And I think that goes down to like how I was raised, and I was raised well, like same with my brother. But it did have its flaws in that I've just always been keen to please others. And I think when you please other people, you're not pleasing yourself, you're sort of disrespecting yourself. And it's taken me a long time to learn that about myself, that I would just make other people happy. And again, like I have like empathy in abundance, like to the point, to my own detriment. Like I can forgive anything, I can understand anything. Like I honestly think someone could stab me and I would find a way to be like, oh, but they didn't mean it, or they like, that's not their fault, it's because they had childhood trauma and that's a shame for them. And so like massively taken advantage of by a lot of people, and an obvious one, but I think I've had to learn and again retrain myself that like whilst I can understand why people would take advantage of me or do unkind things, I don't need to have empathy or compassion, and I don't need to tolerate it or excuse it. And I'm like, I'm transferring from empathy to objective understanding. So like I understand why you're like that, but it doesn't excuse it, and I'm not going to forgive it. And that's, I don't know, it's just who I am, it's who I've always been. Like if you meet my dad, he's the exact same, like he's just got like the heart of gold, and I've just like, I take after him, I am him. And and even like friends, like I feel like a lot of friends have taken advantage of me, and not my close friends, not my inner circle, like not the people I really trust, but I think people meet me and I don't know what it is, but like they just latch on, and it's like, I don't know, like they just like suck your energy, and like you just slowly notice like, oh, actually you're not a good friend, like you're put me down, you're doing this. But I just would never speak on it and would never say, and then would just give people and be like, oh, well, it's obviously because, you know, you're insecure or you're struggling with that, so that's a shame, like let me help you, like I think I can help this person. When actually what I should have been doing with all of these people that are like that is removing myself and keeping myself safe. But I just, lessons have been learned, and like I'm glad I've learned them, so that like hopefully I can raise my children differently, so that you know they're like, and that's horrible because like I was raised a nice person, but I want them to be like critical thinkers and like have like good like discernment of character. Like my character judgment is awful, like I just take everyone for face value and like for what they say, and like, you know, why would people like I don't know, like I just find it so hard. And now I've, again, lessons have been learned, and now I still don't trust my judgment, but now I like check it against people. Like, I'll feel like that to people, like, what do you think of this person? Do you think they're good? Like, the people I really trust. And yeah, so hopefully I'll just raise my children differently so that they won't follow in my footsteps, like the cycle ends, I guess.
Do you know, like, it's just part of growing up that you realise that you don't need to be friends with everybody, and like you're fine to just have your circle small, like you said.
No, I think it's just like, I don't really know what it is. Maybe it's like when you enter your 30s, I think you start to learn who you truly are, and you start to learn, like, I don't think that's just me and what I've been through. I think as you get older, you start to look back and like, why am I the way I am? Like, what happened here? Like, so I think there's that. But also, like, again, I went to psychology, and I like went through a phase where once I started speaking, it was like I couldn't stop telling people things, but I didn't want them to know. I didn't feel safe telling people. But they were asking me questions, and I felt like if I didn't answer them, that would make them feel uncomfortable. So I would rather make myself feel uncomfortable and be shaken for the next 7 days than say to somebody like, I don't want to talk about that, which is like ridiculous. And you know, like, again, I had to learn about like boundaries, which sounds so stupid. It's like, what 5-year-olds should know boundaries, but here I am at like 33, 34, whatever age I was, like, being taught about boundaries. And yeah, and then it's the same. It's like there's a lot of people that I just like, my gut instinct was like, you're not a good person, but for some reason, like, my head would give them excuses, give them buys, and be like, oh no, like, I'm sure they're fine, I'm sure, like, and I would just override my gut. And then again, psychologist was like, no, you need to listen to that gut because it's warning you, it's telling you, and actually that person doesn't align with you. And if someone doesn't, you don't owe them something, you don't need to be friends with them. But like I hate the feeling of like being like, not even for me, but see if I see someone else that's excluded or is left out or something, I hate that. Like, I'll, like, my friends laugh at me because if we're out, like, say it's a group of mums or something, there's a mum over there that's not with anyone, I'll be like, come on over, like, come with us, like, and just like include people. So like for me, it's just against my nature not to be friends with someone or to exclude them. But yeah, I had to like learn that, you know, if someone's toxic, if they're not good, if they're telling lies, if they're putting you down, like, to just keep them away from you and keep yourself safe. And I think particularly with everything I've been through and with my mental health, like, I really need to protect my energy so that I can show up my best self for my kids and so that I don't regress. And so it's just, for me, it's like, yeah, I just need to know who's good and who's bad. And if you're bad, like, you don't get access to me now. And even if you're not bad, but if you're, I don't know, my gut doesn't feel good, you're not good. And like one of my best friends, actually, she's got a saying about people that you're either radiators or drains. So like a radiator is someone that you feel really good around and like they like brighten up your day, whereas a drain just like sucks your energy, like they're bitter, they're jealous, they make comments to put you down. And I've had so many friends like that as well that just like make comments to put you down all the time, and you're like, I would never say like something like that to you, like, why are you saying that to me? And now it's like, okay, you get radiators and drains. So the drains, people that don't make you feel good, like they, like, again, they just don't get access to me now. And I think maybe it's age, maybe it's trauma, but yeah, now I just like, I think I've learned that you've got your inner circle and you've got your outer circle. So even people I don't need to like say like, you're not in my life anymore, but you can be in my life to some extent, but you're not in the inner circle. But like, and again, after everything I went through a massive social like cleanse, and I just was like, no, anyone that does not make me feel good, anyone, like, I'm starting afresh here, I'm starting over, and it's the best thing. It sounds like absolutely savage, but now the people that are in my life, they are such good people. Like, they're so like honest, they have integrity, like they, like, even like when I have like low self-belief, low self-worth or whatever, I feel like you hear them speak about me whether I'm in the room or not, it's just like I can't not believe in myself because like they don't tell lies and they are like good people. So yeah, my inner circle's good, but I just wish I'd learned a long time ago that like you don't need to be friends with everyone.
Aye. You're never going to please everybody either. It sounds like you're draining yourself trying to please everybody.
And that's exactly what I was doing. I was burned out. I was trying to please everyone, and yeah, and I think when you do try and please everyone, you don't even have a clue who you are because you're trying to, like, even when I was doing MMA, so I was teaching full time, I was fighting full time. I didn't want my work to know that I was fighting in case they were annoyed about it. My dad didn't allow me to fight, so I had to lie to them about fighting, even though I knew my brother fought. So like, I don't understand that one. I used to say that it was one thing for for someone to hurt me, but it was another thing that I could hurt someone. I loved it. I loved hurting people. So I'm like lying to my parents about that. I'm lying to my like work. I'm like, I just felt like I was trying to beat everyone. And like, my friends didn't really at first, like some of them like understand the whole MMA thing. Like, I think they thought, you're so weird. Like, and I honestly, I felt like the one place that I could like be myself and didn't really have to people please was in the gym. Was like, in particularly when I came to higher level with my wee team midget.
So what age were you when you started martial arts then?
So I was 18 officially, but when I went to, I'd like always been like athletic to some extent. Like, my parents were quite, I don't feel bad saying this, but like overweight, right? And they used that, and they made like an effort to keep my brother and I into fitness, which has paid off because we're both like making money out of it now. So they made sure that like we always did some sort of fitness. So like, I did dancing, did my dance teaching qualification, horse riding, like every other sport. Started football for a while. Actually, like, there was a local football team called the Busby Boys, and I have a legacy because it changed to the Busby Juniors because of me. I didn't stick it out though, so it was a shame, it was a waste. But I still did it. Anyway, so also a pioneer of women's football, I'll take it. And then, so they always made sure I was fit. And then when I went to uni, I moved to Stirling, and I like went to go along to like the dance class, and I just was like, I don't know, like, it just wasn't for me. It felt like a little girl's sport. Like, I don't know, like, more power to them, they're amazing. So then I was like, right, I'll go to the cheerleaders, because the cheerleaders seemed a bit more like my vibe. But then like nights out, they were like in the outfits, like on the table, like, and I was like, I've always had like, I'm not someone that's like like, I'm only friends with guys or anything. Like, I've always had the same amount of female friends as I've had guy friends. Like, I grew up with a big brother, I grew up with his pals, I grew up playing football on the street with my brother, like, I grew up doing WWE with my brother. So when you say, when did you start martial arts, probably when I was like 5 or something. Like, what was it, the Attitude Era, like Hell in a Cell. We used to have like proper matches. Like, we had like the loft, right, and we'd get my mum's mattress and put it out in the hall, and then like one of us would lie down, the other one was like people elbow. This is how I got into fighting. So yeah, like crazy upbringing. But yeah, so when I went to uni, I went to go to the cheerleading things, and I was just like, I cannot stand on a table cheering on a night out. Like, again, I'm friends with like the guys, like, oh my god, like, I'm not doing that. But more power to them, because like, they looked hot, they looked great, they were like really talented, but I was just like, I can't sign my name to that. Anyway, so my brother had started doing Thai boxing when he was about 16. He's 2 years older than me. So he was training at Stirling Uni. They had a Thai boxing club, and he's like, you should come along to this, like, you'll really like it for like self-defense, like whatever. And I went along, and I loved it, but I was like, I will never spar. I was like, no way, I'm not getting my face messed up, I will never spar. And then I remember he was fighting on a show, like a local show, and actually the first ever female fight that I saw was Ailsa Curry, who's like a Thai boxer, who I like ended up being really good friends with. And yeah, I remember watching it and just thinking, that is savage. Like, there's no way in hell I would ever do that. That is wild to me that people want to do that. Like, their hair was everywhere, and I was like, never. But yeah, so I started when I was 18, and then I did Thai boxing throughout uni, and it wasn't until when I was 20, I think, I moved back home to Glasgow, and I was doing like my dissertation and doing teaching placement, and my brother was now training MMA out of like a gym in the south side of Glasgow, so it was like an affiliate to the Grip House. It doesn't exist anymore, but it was called Southside MMA, I think. And again, he was like, come along to that. Now, like, at that point, I'd had like a bit of a bad experience my first year at uni. I'd then been in a relationship. A guy actually moved to Scotland for me. Anyway, it didn't last, I broke his heart, but I also think he was probably a bit of a wrong-un as well. So I think I was like in not a bad place, but just I don't know. And then I got diagnosed, I put a post up about this the other day saying I just like to bare my soul online these days. But I got diagnosed with like PCOS, like polycystic ovary syndrome, and I got told like at a very young age that I would struggle to conceive, which is now hilarious because I have 3 kids. But when you're told that at that age, and I really tied like my self-worth to that, I was like, no one's gonna want me, like that I can't produce, like that's, I didn't even get told that you can't, it was just you may, but I was young and dumb and I just took that on. So I just think I was a wee bit like, I don't know, like bad experience at uni, bad relationship, and then like getting told that, I just think I was a wee bit like of a bad plate, vulnerable probably, low self-worth, and like, and I'd just like to like say this, that if anybody is struggling to conceive or anything and feels like that is tied to their self-worth, it is not, and the right person will 100% not care about that. But I was young and naive and felt like that at the time. Anyway, and then so yeah, I went to Southside MMA, and again was still like, oh, I'll never spar or whatever, but I think where I was in my life I just felt really low, and honestly it changed my life. It's like I felt like it gave me confidence, it gave me like, just, I don't know, it just built me up when I felt a bit broken, I guess. And like you feel strong, and like the more you train the better you get, and the more you're like, oh hold on, like I actually really like this. And like you watch other people, and I remember saying to my brother like, oh, the girls here are so good, and there was like 2 of them, and he was like, you'll be better in a month, and he was right, like, and like I don't know, and that just like I just found my confidence. And even like body image wise, like I had always been like slim. I was like built like a boy, like, you know, like a 7-year-old boy. Even my friends, were all like really curvy and like amazing, and I'm like, why am I not developed yet? It was an awkward time for me as a teenager. But yeah, and then I was just always skinny, and all my friends were curvy, and I just like, I don't know, like I grew up with diet culture and thinking like, I don't know, like you had to be small and you had to miss meals or whatever. And I guess after like I'd had a bad experience, my first year at uni, I lost tons of weight and was like scrawny and stick thin. And like I remember like at the time when I was, honestly I must have been like, I don't know, I don't work in stone, but like 6 stone. I was tiny, tiny wee blonde thing, and I felt fat. Like it's so stupid to me now looking back. And one of my best friends, she was the same. Like we went travelling when we were 20 or 21, through Canada to America, and we both looked incredible, but we were like, why did we think we were fat back then? It's so stupid. But I just think again, that's the way we were brought up with diet culture and like magazines. Like the idea was you had to be tiny, you had to make yourself small, like that's what females had to be. And anyway, and yeah, so when I look back at pictures, I was like a lollipop head, I was like a stick. And then when I started doing MMA, it's like that went out the window. Like I no longer cared what my body image was like. I no longer felt fat or skinny or anything. I was just more like, oh, look what my body can do. Like I actually can like pick this guy up on my shoulders and do laps around the room. Like this is super cool. And then when you start getting like muscles and, you know, like bulky feet, I don't think I've ever really looked bulky. I'm probably the bulkiest I've ever looked now. But like it's such a bad rep. But actually when I got muscles, I was like, oh, like I feel so good about myself now. And like again, I remember friends being like, oh, I'd rather have boobs, and me being like, well, I'd rather punch you in the face, but we can't have it all. So
can I just ask one thing? See, do you think that the sparring and rolling, and it was a moment to, what's on there?
So it's pointing
like that.
Aye.
You're supposed to be the expert here.
That's it.
I've never had to alter this mic before. Is that alright now?
Continue.
So what you were saying, it sounds like to me like when you found MMA and BJJ and rolling, when you're sparring or when you're rolling, you can't think about anything else. You're quiet as the mind, as they say.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that was like a
Yeah.
defining thing for you as well then? Because it sounds like
Yeah.
there's a lot of traffic in your brain, and there was certainly at the time.
I mean, I feel like you can probably like tell that by talking to me. My mind just like boom, 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 boom. Yeah, and I do have like racing thoughts, and my mind is constant. And yeah, I actually like. So I thought I would never spar, and I said I would never spar. But then the more you train, the better you get. The more you're like, watching people do it and thinking, I could take them, I'm actually better than them, I could do that. So that's how I guess I ended up sparring. And then I feel like it goes either way for people. They either hate it and are like, oh no, or like you realise that like you've actually got that, like whatever it is, like that fire in your tummy and that, like, I don't know, what is it?
And your face isn't made of glass.
Yeah, like it doesn't actually hurt to get punched in the face, like, and that's and also it looks like sheer violence, it looks savage if you're untrained, like it just looks terrifying, and like, why are those people so stupid, like punching each other's faces in? But when you're trained, it's so skillful and it's all technique, and like cliche, but it's human chess. You actually need to be quite smart, and you either need to be quite smart, or you need to be so dumb and have no like perception of danger. That's what I think. You need to be smart or like really do not understand danger. But yeah, so when I got better, I was like, oh, I'm going to spar. And like, even it was just stand up I was still doing, and I showed up by accident early or the wrong time to class, and it was Dean Riley that was coaching the class, and jiu-jitsu, and I did that, and I was just like, oh wow, this is so fun. Like, it honestly, like, I just loved rolling. And
I've been using Happy Hemper CBD for the last 6 to 9 months, and the difference it's making in terms of recovery and sleep has been brilliant. I've been tracking it using my Whoop fitness watch, and the difference in recovery in terms of the score has been right down through the red, right up to the green in the high 90s. It's as easy as 2 drops on your tongue just before you go to bed, and it tastes great. Why use any other CBD? Happy Hemper is a locally run Scottish company. Check them out now at happyhemper.co.uk or on Instagram.
So yeah, I showed up by accident, like maybe an hour early for class or something, because I'm not really great with time. It was Dean Riley from the Grip House was taking a class, and I did it, and I just absolutely loved it. And then, I don't know, you just get the bug, and I was just like, yeah, like I said, like whatever it is, like that fire in your tummy, or that, like, I don't know what it is, like what is it that makes you like want to stick at, like, because some people don't like it and they get overwhelmed and like sparring, they think, God no, this isn't for me. And I've seen people train for years and they just can't spar, or they just can't fight, or whatever it is. Whereas for me, like, I was like, oh, this is so good, like it's so addictive, like I love it. And yeah, so that was me, I was on it. But what we were just talking about there, like I found, like when I started like rolling, I then was like, oh, I'm going to start sparring now, because like I built my confidence, and I thought, well, if you can do it, like I can do it, type thing. And then you realise it's not a big scary thing, and it doesn't actually hurt getting punched in the face, etc. But I think when I started doing that, like 2 things happened. Like, one, the body image, like I stopped caring about what I looked like, because I was more like impressed by what I could do, and that mindset shift has been huge for me. And that's what I really try and like inspire, like the mums that I coach. And like, I say mums, like there's people that aren't mums that I coach now, but I try and like say to them, like, stop focusing on what you look like and start focusing on what you can do, and building your body and being strong and enjoying the process. Like, tomorrow you're going to be someone different, in 3 months you're going to be someone completely different. And for me, honestly, at that age I stopped caring about body image, because that was like back when I was like, what, 21 or something, 21, because I was just like so impressed with what I could do. And like, yeah, it's such a big shift for me. But the other thing is that being a people pleaser and being someone that like my entire life has avoided confrontation and conflict and like any sort of animosity, just like, and still to this day, just like wrecks my nervous system. I just like, I can't really deal with it, and it probably comes down to being a people pleaser. And but I felt like I almost, when I started in MMA, like I felt like I had a bit of a backbone. It gave me a bit of confidence, and like still not so much in like social situations or relationships, but like certainly when I was in my work, I remember thinking like, okay, hold on, if I can like spar with someone and whatever, then I'm not going to be nervous going into this situation, because like, look what I just did. And particularly when I started actually fighting, like that helped me massively for confidence, because it was like, no, I can like go and stand toe to toe someone that's trying to take my head off and have the cage door shut. So if I can do that, like I can do this. Like, it just, honestly, it just helped me massively, like confidence wise, just knowing, like, it was just empowering. I guess it was empowering. But like, yeah, when I started MMA though, that it was like changed age from like what it is now. Like when I started, there was a few females, but none of them were actually really like doing it to compete or whatever. And the gym that I started at, and I think probably most gyms, if people are honest, because it was still at that point a really male dominant sport. Like I don't even know if like Ronda Rousey was in the UFC at this point. So you've got the president of the UFC saying that females are never going to fight in the UFC. So like they're not respected, they're not equals. It wasn't, you know, an equal fair sport but it is now. And I remember when I started training, the opinion was if you were a female, that you were only showing up to find a man, or like, and that is me putting it politely, it was in a lot more crude terms. And yeah, so like actually the coach that I started with, I actually really like him, and like he's a bit mental, but I really like him. But I don't agree with this. When I started, he would deliberately make the workout so grueling that females would quit and give up and not return because they weren't, I don't know, like they would seem to be like hold back the team, if you like, or they weren't there for the right reasons. Okay. And now looking back, like that's awful. That's so bad. But it didn't work and I kept going, but it was almost like because I'd gotten through like the grueling workouts or whatever, and like I then was respected at that little gym that I was at, and it was like, honestly, I really loved that team. It was such a nice team, and I would have stayed there if circumstances in my life were different. I was happy the area, like, and a lot of the people that I trained with, they are like still kicking around, like Stuart Russell and Martin Russell, they're the coaches at Reaper now. There was like Nick Ayton and his brother Farmer, Chris Ayton, I'm sure like they called him Farmer, but they're now like black belts, and I'm sure coaches at Marcos Nardini's. So like yeah, it was a good team. We were all like really ambitious, but it's also probably the first place that I felt like I could be myself, and that yeah, people weren't jealous or bitter or anything. They just like want you to do really well, and you'll know this yourself from training at Braveheart. It's like your teammates, they're the people that uplift you and like push you, and like I don't know what Braveheart's like, I can't speak because I've never been there, but for me, like at that gym, it just felt really comfortable and I really liked it. And then yeah, circumstances changed and I ended up at the Grip House. I can't even remember what the original question is. Did I just keep talking?
No, that's fine. You were just talking about how you got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
But it's good. I'm enjoying
keep going?
it. Aye,
okay.
Aye, keep going.
Okay, great. You're enabling me. You're part of the problem.
But so you were at the Grip House, and then Dean was coaching at this other gym.
Because it was
right.
an affiliate to the Grip
Cool.
House. It was like their sister gym, if you like.
Yeah.
It was out of like Future Fitness in Glasgow, but it's not. They don't have an MMA team or gym anymore, I don't think. So then I was at the Grip House, but the problem with being at the Grip House was I just felt like I was always someone's like sister or girlfriend, and for me I was like desperate to fight. I'd actually had a jits competition, my first jits competition, that's a good story. I had only been training for like 3 months, and but I guess I just had like a wee bit of the fight in me and was like keen to compete, and I looked at like the names in my bracket, and one of them was Lanchana Green, who'd was like professional MMA fighter, like I think she was on one of the tough seasons, and I actually like looked her up online. She's got like a full on like highlight reel and all that, and I'm like, oh, I'm toast here. Like there's no chance, like why am I even doing this? Anyway, I won. And I think I had 3 matches that day and I won them all. Got gold. I don't think I got a point scored on me. Can't say if that's 100% true, but I'm taking it. Anyway, and then that weekend she was lovely. She went on to get her blue belt, and I'm like, hold on, right. So she's got a highlight reel and she's just got like, I must be quite good. Like I must be good. So yes, I felt like I honestly had the bug. I felt confident, and I was like, I'm going to do this, like I want to be a fighter, blah blah. And then when I went to the Grip House, I just felt like I was someone's sister or someone's girlfriend. And I think like it's such a busy gym, it's a great gym, but there's like different rooms and different coaches. Like I don't know what it's like now. I think Dean Riley's now the MMA coach, but at that point they didn't really have an MMA coach. They had like jiu-jitsu, Thai coaches, and anyway, but I think I just never would have fought if I just stuck there, because I'm not a forthcoming person. I would never say to somebody like, oh, I want to fight, because I would, like, in my head, low self-worth or what, I don't know, they would have been like, oh, you're not good enough, or I don't know what it was, but I'm not a forthcoming person, so I would never have said I wanted to fight. And by this point I knew, like, Joanne Calderwood and James Doolan, and from being at the Grip House, I guess, and they, like, I was talking to James, who just opened up the Whitburn gym, higher level at Whitburn, and I was like, oh, I've got a day off work, like, I'll come through and check it out. And he's like, yeah, that'll be cool, dude, like, as James always does, like, 2 words max. And so then I went through to higher level, like, a random night, and they were sparring, and I like jumped on, sparred, like, loved it, was like, that was so cool, like, and like when I was there, like, nobody knew who I was, but I loved that, like, I wasn't an extension of anyone else, it was like I was my own person. And also, like, when like the old gym and the new gym, it's just like everyone spoke to me, everyone was kind to me, everyone, like, not noticed me, but welcoming, yeah, like, all on an even peg.
Playing field.
Thank you. That'll do. Whatever. So yeah, and then the next day my brother was in the Grip House and they bumped into James, and James is like, here, like, I think Vari should think about fighting. And my brother's like, like, she already has, like, because I was obviously, like, desperate to fight. And even, like, I had, like, a knee operation at one point, like, from wrestling, and they told me I would never do contact sports again, and I was gutted. I was, like, heartbroken. Anyway, so when James said that to my brother, I was like, right, that's me, over to higher level, goodbye, like, that's me, I found my place, I found, like, this is happening now. And
because James believes in it.
Yeah, and, like, if James Doolan, like, says you're, like, good, or sees something in you, honestly, it was just, like, the best feeling. Like, I was like, oh.
James doesn't hand out compliments sparring, is
no, so, like, that was me. I was just like, that was me, higher level. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I would do, like, 1-1 with James. Thursday, Friday, Saturday I would, like, get told off for training too much, but I would sneak to Bikram, where, like, me and Logan McGonigal from higher level, like, great fighter, is going to turn pro.
I know Logan,
yeah,
Logan.
Yeah, he's great, he's amazing, and just, like, a really good person. But yeah, we'd be doing, like, hill sprints up Sucky Hall Street or whatever on a Saturday, and James would be like, stop training. And then Sunday was, like, Super Sunday, and that was my life for years.
Is that it?
That's it. Do you want me to talk about something else? I'll keep going. No, I don't know, I can't remember what the original question was.
No, that was great. So you were at, eventually you went to higher level, and you've already spoke about the fights. What were you like before your first fight then?
Right, so this is actually a hilarious story. All my fights have actually got quite hilarious stories. So the first fight, like, everyone was in my ear saying, I think you're too nice to be doing this. Like, I don't know if you've actually got, like, not what it takes, but to, like, actually hurt someone. Like, that killer instinct people are giving it, like, you might not be able to actually do this. And I'm thinking, like, God, what if they're right? Like, what if I'm not? And, like, so I wasn't nervous. Like, I treated this like it was, like, my birthday party. I was so excited. I, like, this is so sad, right? I put glitter hairspray in my hair and everything. I was like, this is my day. Like, I was so excited. But I was, like, taking on what people said. Like, what if I actually can't hurt somebody? What happens if I go into this and I can't hurt someone? So I got myself so riled up for this, like, so riled up to the point where I went in, and I remember I hit her with a big massive left hook, and, like, her head rocked, and I was like, oh my god, I can hurt someone, and my adrenaline went woof, and it was the worst thing to happen. And, like, the first round, like, schooled her, took her down, and then the second round, like, halfway through, I had the biggest adrenaline dump. It was awful. I could barely hold myself up. Come the third round, I was basically holding her against the cage, right? And she's, like, kneeing, like, away, right, from, like, having her back against the cage. And James is like, right, every time she knees, Vari, you knee. She knees, you knee. And I remember just, like, looking up, and I'm like, I'm going to vomit. And, like, catching eyes with Martin Delaney. Like, and the thing, and it was the most awkward thing. I was like, hiya. Like, it was so awkward. And then at the end of the fight, because I'd had this adrenaline dump, my teammate Stuart Russell was literally holding me up, and then I was like, I'm gonna vomit here, like I'm actually going to be sick. So I had to like take myself to the toilet because I was the only female. I was then like whiting all over the toilet, sick everywhere. And Peter McCafferty, one of my other teammates, who's amazing, so talented, his mum came in to help me clean up my sick. It was so embarrassing. And then I went back up to the changing room, like trying to hug James, and he was like, just you go over there. But yeah, so after that, I knew that 100% could hurt somebody. Not like, that sounds awful, but I had like that, whatever it is, that like I had that drive, that like...
The dog in you.
The dog, a little blonde pit bull, yeah. So I had the dog in me, and yeah, so then like the next fight, it was like completely different mindset. I just like chilled out because I was like, right, I know that I can do this. I know that I don't need to like build myself up, and the last thing I ever want to happen is to start vomiting. But to the point when I feel like I almost got too comfortable. Like I remember in my title fight, like between rounds, I was like that to James, like, I'm so hungry, and he's like, that's fine, Vari, we'll get you a burger after this, can you like go and fight? And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. But I just like, yeah, I think I just like zoned out really in fights, because you just like trust like James in my corner, like, and I just like, he'd be like, you're a sniper, Vari, you're a sniper, and I just yeah, you just zone out. Like there's nothing to be nervous about because you've done the work, you've put in the hard work, like you know that you've got what it takes or whatever. For me especially, like my hard rounds were in the gym. I was like the smallest person in the gym, so like if I can lift up a boy or I can like give him a bleeding nose, then like I don't need to worry about you. But yeah, so after that I just totally like mellowed and chilled out. But the first fight, yeah, that was not a good idea.
How many fights did you have before your mum and dad found out what you were doing? So
they found out maybe like 4 fights in, and it's because one of my very best friends now, she married like one of my brother's best friends growing up, and I think it was actually at my wedding, although we don't talk about that day, but wouldn't recommend, biggest waste of money. Anyway, at my wedding, my like friend Natalie went up to my dad and said something like, was it at my wedding? I can't remember, but she went up to my dad and was like, oh, that's so good to put Vari's title fight, and my dad was like, what? Oh, anyway, he didn't actually say anything because it had already happened, and at this point, like, yeah, I think they probably knew, like they knew I was training all the time, so they probably knew. But again, and I actually like love my parents, but I wish I'd just been myself. And this is it, as a parent, you'll know, like for me, I just want my children to be unapologetically themselves. Like I don't care what it's into. Like my wee boy saying he wants to be a ninja when he grows up, like great, let's go to higher level and you can interview them, find out what it takes. Like to James, like how do you be a sensei? Like I just want them to be who they are. Like and my little girl as well, she's like a firecracker. Like she actually reminds me so much of me. But yeah, I just think like as a parent you should just let your kids be who they're naturally choose to be, and I didn't really have that. It's quite sad.
You didn't have that? No,
like I felt like I had to be, I don't know.
I wanted to bring it back to what you said earlier. You said that you had no self-worth.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
I think about that all the time. I think partly you know, like my family are very humbling people, like they're quite critical, and yeah, and I think probably some of the wrong friends. I think particularly relationships. I think.
But before that though, you said that you had low self-worth when you were when you were at uni, I think you said, like, if I remember back.
Yeah, I had a bad experience in my first year at uni,
right.
And I think I'm only really processing that now and how that like changed my life really. Like what, like work related or something else? Men. Right, okay, right. Yeah. So somebody need to bring up then. Yeah. Right, that's fine. But yeah, I think it just, instead of thinking what does that make of somebody, I always felt like what does that make of me, when actually now I know and I'm old enough and wise enough and I've learned enough, and it's the same as my situation with it's the same as my situation with like my marriage or whatever. I guess I always felt like, what does that make of me, when actually it doesn't make anything of me, it makes something about someone else. But do you know the thing about trauma, right? And this is like so important, I think, is that, and I never knew this and I've learned this, but see, when you go through trauma, like whatever it is, like it could be a car crash, it could be a relationship, like I don't know, stabbing, domestic abuse, like whatever it is, the trauma you go through, loss of a loved one, like the brain.
Thank you to Combat Sports Hygiene for sponsoring this episode. This episode is brought to you by their new product, Full Guard. Full Guard protects against staph, ringworm and bacteria. It kills bacteria and viruses in seconds, but it's natural and totally safe on the skin. There's no sting or dryness. It's perfect for back-to-back rolls, just spray and go, no water needed. Thanks again to Combat Sports Hygiene for sponsoring this episode. If you're a martial artist, Full Guard really is a game changer. Check it out at sportshygiene.com. The thing is, you're never going to change the past.
I can't change the past.
You can't change the past. There's no point in going over it and blaming yourself for anything.
Yeah.
You've grew for it now. I think you're quite inspiring, to be honest. And I think a lot of women listening to this will feel the same. Yeah. So I think let's move forward and just...
Well, this is it. And I think when you get, like, for me, that was like it for me, and I was going to be in that for the rest of my life. So when you come out of it and you get a second chance, it's like you need to like grab it by the horns. And that's why, like, I am just so like, do you know what, see all my dreams, I'm going to achieve them, and I'm going to bring my kids along, and like I am like the sole provider, the breadwinner, like they're going to eat, like that's, and I think I've always been ambitious and driven, but I've almost like had that taken from me. I've not been able to go after like what, and now it's like I get to do it. So that's why, like, you know, every day at 5 o'clock there's a post from the Busy Mum PT. Like, I'm making sure the mums that I train, like, they are going to get in shape, they are going to do it, like and there's also just like a bigger agenda I think I have now. Like, I've got like so many like dreams and things I want to achieve, and I wouldn't have got to do any of them. So now it's like I'm going for it. And yeah, you're living
your life.
I'm living my life, and it's like I've learned who I am now. Like, I know who I am. I know who I've always been as well. Like, my morals and values, like, I've danced to the devil and they have never bent. Like, I've always been like a person of integrity, but I think I just know what I'm made of now. And it's like, yeah, I think you can be the victim of your story or you can be the hero of it. And like, and some people love to be, like we spoke about, some people love to be the victim and like what's happened to them and the world owes me. No, it doesn't. And it's up to you to take yourself out. And I think that's the thing about mental health or PTSD. It's like, you need to get yourself out of that. Like, you take as long as you need. I saw this the other day, it's really sad, like, take as long as you need but don't take your life. Like, really sad. But like, yeah, like, take as long as you need, but you need to pull yourself out, and you're the only one that can do it. People can say whatever they want, and like, you just need to do it. Actually, this is like going back to like Sean Clancy and Dylan Duke. Like, this is what I really love about them, that they've got like this big platform, but they don't just use it to like post all about themselves or for personal gain. And you're like this as well. Like, you use it to promote other people's causes. Like, and I just think that's such like a nice, kind thing, and that's what I aspire to be. Like, it's not all about me. It's not all about me making money, or like, and I wouldn't say I'm necessarily financially driven. Like, I need to be a wee bit more so now because I've got to feed my children. But it's about like helping others. Like, and that's what like you guys really are doing here with this podcast. And like, Dylan will share things about what's going over in Gaza, and so will Sean, and I just think not a lot of people do that. I think it's so important. So for me, it's like, who do I want to show my kids I am? I want to show my kids that it's not all about us, it's about others, it's about helping others, making a difference in the world. But I'm not going to thank you if I'm like on Forbes under 40. That actually, I wouldn't mind it, right? I would, like, if I end up there, we can replay this tape. But like, I would rather be on like Pride of Britain for like doing something for making a difference. I think that's more the way I'm driven. My brother's complete opposite. He's like on the money train. That's why he makes more money than me.
Money's not everything though, is it?
And this is what I've learned. And like, I'm not a materialistic person. I'm not a shallow person. But like, I think fun tokens or something. Like, you need some amount of money.
This episode is brought to you by Hard Rock Scaffolding, covering all of the UK. They're fully trained, accredited and authorised to work on all types of jobs. Thanks again to Gareth and the team at Hard Rock Scaffolding. Well, I was wanting to ask you about your PT business that you've started.
Yeah.
Because to go for being like essentially a to be fair to say, a shell of yourself to what you're like now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about the transition to that.
So basically I never really intended to be a personal trainer, right? But everyone always constantly said to me, because obviously I was like a female in sport, or even a male in sport, you're still a minority. Like, how many people do you actually know that are athletes? Like, for us maybe more because you're in a sport, but from your average Joe, it's like you don't know that many people. So because I was like a female in fitness, people were like always like, oh, you need to start personal training, you need to coach me, you need to give me advice. And I was like, no, I just like do it for me. Like, no. Even like when my mum, like when we were young, she, like, my dad worked away a lot, so how would she have ever have gotten to a gym? Like, she couldn't have done it. So like I'm not surprised she struggled with her weight, because she didn't have anything she could do. And then when I was in my situation, like, I just think, like, what would I have wanted to help me? Like, what could have helped me in that situation? And I think that's where I started thinking, like, I could actually do something here to help mums, and like, to help them, like, build a wee community, to feel less isolated, to get into fitness. And then also I'd like watch my mum like struggle with her weight, and I used to always think, like, oh, I just wish I could do it for you, like, I wish I could help you. So I just think, I don't know. And then when I had my first kid, oh my god, I gained so much weight, because I'd obviously been used to training every single hour under the sun, and I used to eat, like, I used to really eat. And then when I'd like stopped training, I still trained throughout every pregnancy I've trained through, but I stopped training, obviously the amount, so my calorie expenditure was way less, but I still kept eating that. So I was 3+ stone heavier when I had my eldest kid, and I was like, oh god, like, but for me it's like, that's okay, there are let's normalise times in our life where your weight's not your priority, or your aesthetics. You're going to have times where your weight fluctuates, whatever, and that's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. But for me, like, my identity has always been tied into fitness, so it was like I really had lost myself. I was like, I don't know who I am at this point, like, I can't wear my clothes, like, this isn't right. So you have to make a decision, like, I'm not going to live like this, I don't feel good about myself. So I lost the weight, and I lost it really quickly. But people are like, oh, you're always so petite, like, you're naturally like that. And I'm like, no, not always, and not naturally. Like, you have to actually make the effort. But yeah, so I think I'd started like a page, like my Instagram page, but at that point it wasn't really like a thing. Like, now, like, influencers are definitely a thing, but back then it wasn't really to do that. It was just to, like, mainly hold myself accountable, so that when I became a mum and when I was isolated, that I didn't lose that part of myself, to like hold myself accountable for fitness. It was like my one non-negotiable, was that, like, I'm keeping this up, even if I was doing it in empty rooms or empty gyms, like, I kept it up. And then I think at the point where financially, so my brother paid for me to do, like, he runs he's got a gym in Improve Glasgow. It's coming to Giffnock, which is where I stay. Improve Giffnock, Improve Glasgow, Improve Giffnock. But he also runs a personal training academy, where he coaches, or one of his staff members coaches people to be personal trainers, and it's like a really high quality delivery. So it's like, you're not going to come out being a crap personal trainer, you're going to come out being really good and really knowledgeable. So he's like, listen, I'll pay for you to do this if it will help you make some more money. So I did it for free. It cost him money though, it wasn't like I just got to do it for free. So I owe like a lot to my family and my brother, like a lot. Yeah, so when I came out, I did my qualification when I was pregnant with my youngest, and I then had to, like, straight away, like, start a business, because I needed to make money for the kids. Like, summer holidays was coming up, and I'm like, I'm not affording this. I'm like, I'm not affording this, like, we're not getting through this summer. So, like, I'd obviously had the idea of, like, training mums and giving them something to get them back into fitness, so that they knew that they don't have to sacrifice themselves for their kids. I just had the whole idea, the vision, and I just, like, hit it to the ground running, and I could only do it for 12 weeks because the baby was coming. So, like, yeah, I've got pictures of me, like, full on, like, in fact I actually went into labour on the last day, but because of the situation that I was in, the stress, my labour actually, like, stalled, and then I ended up having to get induced, and then that's a different story for a different day. But that was, like, probably, like, the height of trauma when I was in labour. And then but yeah, so because of money situation, I was planning just to like take a month off to have my baby and go straight back to it. But then obviously trauma hit, like I became a single mum. I always was a single mum, but like 6-week-old baby, 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and I just like was like, I can't do this, I need help. Like there was no way, and at that point I thought I will never be able to do that, because as you say, it was a shell of myself. And then I just I guess like, so see, I put a post about this as well, like, so see when I used to go out running, like, so one of my friends showed up at my house when I was like so traumatised, I was a wreck, like, and she basically said like, put your trainers on, we're going out to run. And I was like, why am I going out to run? But I went out to run. I actually bumped into, this is so random, but Justin Flanagan from Higher Level, he's now like a total High Rocks pro, but he's like one of my best friends. Like I absolutely adore him, one of like my teammates, like spent years with him, he's like cornered me, everything. And randomly, like he lives nowhere near me, but he was doing work at the bottom of my street, so I've gone out this run. It's like probably one of the first times I've left the house, and like ran right into it. It was just the nicest moment. Like he just like gave me the biggest hug, and then he's just like like, I don't know, but it's just like, it was like, oh, I've got my friend back, like, because I've been so isolated from like so many people, and it was just like, oh, it was just such a nice moment, because it's like, yeah, and then like we just like chat away like since then. But I just felt like, oh, I don't know, it was a nice moment, and like everything for a reason. Like she came to run that day and ran right into Justin, and yeah, but then she was like, right, I'm coming back again, same again next week. And like, thank God she did, because every week I had something that I could like look forward to, like just going out that run. And then eventually I just like started to find my feet, started going out running more in myself. And running is something that I've always done, like since I was like a kid. I remember I would go out like runs, and just for like headspace, like just, I don't know, like I just always loved it. Like there's a park like over like sort of East Kilbride Way, the James Heritage Park, and it's just like you can run laps. It's like roughly a kilometre, but I remember being like 15 running laps around that. Just, it was just my thing, I just loved it. And then I got like, again, that taken away from me. I didn't really have the freedom or the time to go out running, so I just couldn't do it. So see, like having the freedom again to go out running, and then like I did the half marathon, and not for time or for anything, just because I could. But I remember when I was out running all last year, I would sit and think about like, what would being better look like what is the end goal here, like what would like
visualising,
and it honestly seemed like I would never do it, but the things I would visualise was like going back to finish what I started with my mummy business. Like I loved it, I was passionate about it, I enjoyed it, I felt like I really did help the mums that I trained and I coached. Like I'm good at it. Like also like speaking out, advocating like for people, because I guess again, when I was out running, I would be thinking about some of the stories that I've heard, and the stories are like, I'm talking about people are having to flee from their house because of their perpetrator. Their perpetrator then gets sentenced, gets out in early release. These women and children are living in homeless shelters on the housing, waiting for housing, and because of like the, what is it, like reintroducing to society or whatever it's called when prisoners get released, they then get housing while the women and children are still homeless. So I'm sitting listening to stories like this. I'm knowing like people are struggling out there and they can't get psychology, and they don't have a brother that can like fund that for them and save them, because that saved me. Like that was like the outside perspective again, just like untangled all the thoughts that were consuming me and let me know that they are not true and they're just thoughts, and like why do you pay more attention to that thought than any other thought, and like how to like break those thought patterns, and like how to cope, how to ground yourself. And so I'm like listening to all those stories, and when I was out running I was just thinking like, what can I do like to, and then ultimately I don't think I can do anything. I think it's a male problem. I think females can shout about it till they're blue in their face, but actually it's males. It's like emotional regulation needs to be taught. It's like men need to start speaking out, signing their name to it. It's uncomfortable for them, I get it, but it needs to happen. But yeah, when I was out running I would think like, right, my business, advocating, and I would think about like visualise like things that I want my children to experience, like holidays and like camping and things like this that I thought as a single parent I would never be able to provide or do, and every single thing that I sat and thought about on all those runs I've done. Like, I've gone and done it, and it, like, yeah, so proud moment, like, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't remember what the question was, but there's a good answer.
That's great. So the next thing I was wanting to do with you is the followers questions. So we've got the followers questions up on the screen here. The first question is Dior's book club, who you're obviously familiar with. It's like your friend you were going to do the podcast
with.
Aye.
Yes, Incompetent and Incontinent.
Is that what it's going to be called?
It's for mums, it's not quite like the Breaking the Grip vibe, but...
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your biggest motivator?
Easy, my children. 100% my children. Like, I just think, what would I want for them, and that's what I want for myself, because I want them to reach for their goals, be themselves. Yeah, my children. And also now, from being back online, like I say, the people that have been messaging me and telling me their stories, and like, I do feel like that's a big responsibility for me. And like, actually the other day I got like quite overwhelmed by one of the messages, like maybe a bit triggered, I don't know. It was okay, like I can cope, but I did think, God, this is like quite a big responsibility now. So I think like maybe one of my biggest motivators is for those people that have messaged me, to show them that this does end well, and that you can go on to thrive and to live the life that you wanted, and it does get better. And also, do you know what I'll say? My friends, because they, even when I don't believe in myself, like when I hear the way they speak about me, I'm just like, God, like, yeah. So yeah, children, followers, friends. Shout out to Dior.
Shout out to Dior, aye.
Yeah.
Did you find being in a male-dominated environment difficult when you first started? I think we covered that in the podcast.
Yeah, 100%.
Just want to summarise that.
Yeah, just because the opinion is that if you're a female, you're there to meet a man. So then I was like terrified people would think that for me. And I also had someone in my ear saying that, like, if you wear makeup, it's because you're there to meet a man. If you wear like tight clothing and whatever, like, it's not a fashion show, it's not a catwalk. Like, yeah, you'll not be respected. People think that's what you're there for. And I was, again, always really cared what people thought of me. Shouldn't have, don't anymore. But was like really scared to not be taken seriously, or for anyone to ever think I was there for anyone. So I would literally, like, you look back in pictures of me, like high level in the gym, like board shorts, baggy t-shirts, like that is not how I dress, that is not me. But I just was so scared to ever be seen that way. So now I understand that, like, that's not the same. But also I think MMA has completely changed. It has come along. There's so many females in it now, and at higher level, I just want to say I was never ever made to feel that way. It didn't really feel like I was in a male environment. It felt like I was in a friendly environment where everyone was on a level par. I've actually been in gyms where, like, people do treat you poorly though because you're a female, and like I remember asking someone that, like, everybody bums for a round once. And like, he tried to hurt me because he was obviously like pissed that I'd taken his time, and I literally was like, that is so rude. Like, and see, when I think about like people at higher level, it doesn't matter who you are, you're never like, you can't walk into higher level without seeing Stevie Ray giving like a free tutorial to like 3 people at the side of the mat. Like, it would just never happen. And I just thought, you know, people think you're like the sun shines out of you, but you're actually like not good. So I think, yeah, like, but that's same situation, it's not all males, but I think when I first started, there was just a lot of, like, again, stigmas attached to females in MMA gym and what their motive was for there, which sucks because, like, you would never look at a guy walking into a gym and say, oh, he's only there to find a girl. Like, that would never happen. So why is it the case of a female only wants to train because she wants to find a man? Like, yeah, that would piss me off. But like I say, the longer I did it and when I found a higher level, I no longer felt like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
How did you find weight cuts when you were preparing for a fight?
I don't know.
That's from Lauren 1, sorry, I should have said.
Right. So I actually, I don't know, like, I quite liked them. I liked the structure, I liked the routine. I just ate chicken and eggs and quark. Like, honestly, like, I know a lot more about nutrition now than I did. But, like, sometimes, like, one of my fights, I'm sure it was, like, 4 weeks and I had to lose 10 kilos. And I did it. And, like, I just, yeah, got on with it. And I used to love the feeling of being, like, super light before a fight. Like, it was great. Yeah, so I just weight cuts and preparing for a fight, I found them okay. I quite liked them. I think I like a challenge. I like the main challenge. The one I didn't like was when I fought atom weight and I had to like cut weight. And my brother made me go in a bath and he was like, oh, you won't need the salt, like the heat will be enough to take the water off you. It wasn't. So I sat in this hot bath nearly dying, hadn't drank in however many hours, and not even a single like pound, nothing.
Really?
So I had to go back in with the salt. I could have killed him. And like, again, people cut like 7-8 kilos plus, like people are insane. I think I had like 1.5 kilos to lose or whatever, but it honestly felt like I was dying, so I found that hard.
Really?
Like, I don't know how people do it. Have you done it?
I find it easy in the bath.
What?
With
To like
the
cut
salts.
weight? I felt like I was
Could they
having
too
heart
neighbour in the bath?
palpitations.
Nah, just sit and chill on your phone for an hour.
No.
I suppose it depends on how much you've cut prior to that, I would say, because
Yeah, probably quite a lot.
The last time I done it, I only had like less than 2 to do. Like, so just keto up to that, up to your 24 hours and then 24 hours like water, fast and then obviously the cut in the bath.
Yeah.
But what I had to do for the Gorilla Invitational, the weigh-in was like 2:30 in the afternoon, and we were driving to Manchester because Stevie was doing a seminar, and the guy wouldn't let me weigh in at like 10 in the morning. I was like, can I not just weigh in before I leave? No, you've got to wait till 2:30. So I was like in the car driving to Manchester when like couldn't drink water, couldn't eat nothing to eat. I was like, oh, I'm not doing that again.
So
like, what show you ever been to that it's 2:30 that you weigh in?
Well, do you know, I went to a show once and I actually got my face punched in, so the less said about it the better. But it was by that, I can't remember her name, Carolina something. She went on to be an EFC strawweight champion. So she was like good, fair play to her. But she didn't weigh in, right? So I've driven to like, I don't know, like some like Barrow in Furness, like somewhere random, and I'd actually had to gain weight for that fight because I'd just come off a fighting at atom weight, and then I'd accepted this one like a catch weight because I usually fought at 52, so I'd gone down. I then had to like gain weight. She wanted to fight at 56, so I said fine because I was like desperate to fight anyone and everyone, so I was like, that's fine, no bother. So agreed 56, and this is like 2 weeks after another, like a previous fight or something. It was a quick turnaround. And we showed up and they're like, oh yeah, she's weighed in. And I'm like, what do you mean she's weighed in? Like, we're here to weigh in, we've agreed this time to weigh in. And they're like, oh no, like she sent in a video. So the video, you cannot see the scales. Like, there's nothing. Like, she did not weigh in. And see, when I say, like, when I saw her, right, to the eye, I'm like, she is not the same weight as me. Like, see Kieran Conlon from, like, higher level, like, he's so talented. But he was, like, the same height as me, roughly. And, like, built, right? And she, I swear, was like the same build as him. And I'm like, there's no way you are the same like size as me. And honestly, see, when she hit me, it felt like I was getting hit by Kieran Conlon. It felt like a brick. I was like, oh, I don't like this. I tried to take her down. I was like, I can't get her up. Anyway, you take the loss.
The next question is actually from our editor's brother, Cameron Keelan. He's asking, how did you get into PT? Which I think you've covered that as well, to be fair.
Yeah, my brother, Improve Academy in Glasgow. Look it up. It's amazing. So good. Plug.
Shout out to your brother.
Shout out to my brother, Helen Ross.
Jane Bulke is asking, I'm a female interested in trying out martial arts. What's the best way to start out?
I mean, she's definitely not, but thanks for your question, Gemma.
Was that one of your friends?
Do you know the best way to start out? It's just going along to a class. And I actually said this last night, a lot of people think they need to get fit before they do a class, and I think that's the dumbest thing. You do not need to be great to start, you need to start to be great.
Correct.
And it's like, yeah, like,
just go.
You don't go to a restaurant, like, you don't feel full to go to a restaurant, so you don't need to be fit to go to a gym, like, just go.
Folks
just
say
start.
I'm going to get fit before I come, but even if you're fit, like in a running sense, you're still not going to be fit for sparring and rolling.
Oh no, it's totally different.
Fitness.
Oh, and wrestling,
Aye.
That's the hardest. That's a killer. Like, I don't think many fit people could get through a wrestling round.
You just have to do it. Loads.
It's the only way, is the conditioning for it. But I do think females now getting into it, it's a totally different vibe. There's so many, even when I go to high level now, I'm like so jealous. Like, I'm like, oh, I would have loved like Naz and like Jem, like they're just like cool, like just really nice. There's so many girls doing jiu-jitsu, so now I think for a female starting out, like, don't worry about it, it's equal.
Aye, definitely. How can you inspire my young daughters to get involved into the sport?
Do you know what, like, actually one of my friends, not Gemma, asked me the other day, she's put her 2 kids into jiu-jitsu class, and she was asking me about the gym, and this is the thing, if I hear something I'll never sit on it, because as I said, like, a lot of people withheld information from me that could have really saved myself and my children a lot of pain. But I've just heard so many like bad things about gyms, particularly with like kids coaching recently, that freaks me out. So if my advice to anyone, if you're getting your kids into the thing about MMA and jiu-jitsu is there's no governing body, and I think that's dangerous because there's no safeguard and there's nothing. Like, anyone can be a jiu-jitsu coach really these days. There's nothing to like safeguard it. So I think if you're going to get your kids into it, I think I love that I don't have to care about my body. I don't have to worry about it. I don't, like, because I'm fit, I'm healthy, I'm active, and I also most enjoy about training now is the social aspect of it. Like, that is something that I didn't realise how important that is to me, and to like have those connections and friendships and community. It just really like saved me, I guess, like just having that like adult time as well, when I'm with the children all the time, and then I guess also just for like mental health, like when like, you know, the PTSD does kick in, like how do you stop that, how do you get out of it? And like psychologists have told me so many different ways, but see, when you're in it, it's like they say to you, like, so for me it's like basically you do, like, you go back to whatever it was your body did at the time of like trauma to feel safe. So I would just freeze, which isn't helpful, but so my body would just freeze. So when PTSD kicks in, I just feel like I'm frozen. So my head's like get a grip, like get out of this, like you're fine, you're safe, like what is going on? And sometimes I don't even know what the hell it is that's triggered me. Like, I'm like, nothing's happened, why are you like this? But you're just stuck. And they say, like, you know, look at 5 things around the room and bring yourself, touch the chair, like ground yourself. And like for me it doesn't really work. So the only thing that gets like shakes that feeling for me is to like reset it with exercise training. So yeah, I think, I don't know if that's what I enjoy, but that's what I need training for now. And I think quite possibly that's what I've always needed training for, and maybe why I've been so like consistent and motivated, because I've needed it more than I ever realised. But I don't know what else I enjoy.
I think it's important for everybody to have something out with being a parent.
Oh yeah.
An outlet, like especially training. Like you say, just in that wee hour or two. Yeah. Just to be new.
Well, it's
again.
to fill your cup. It's to fill your cup so you don't burn out. Like, you
it.
pour it all into your children, all, like, every second. They are little energy vampires. They are. Right? We love them. They're great. But they do. So you need to do something to make you feel good, and to make you feel like, right, okay, I'm calm now, I'm ready, and then you just go and empty your cup back into it.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
I've got an empty cup, but we're about finished, so that's fine.
I don't know, I can start talking again and you're screwed.
Listen, it's been brilliant having you in. Yeah. Obviously, we went through some stuff that's maybe been traumatic in your life, but I think the outcome of it is where you are now. Anybody listening to this, hopefully they've got something from here. I wouldn't be surprised if you get messages for women listening to this. They know where to find you on Instagram.
I'll always help.
What's your tagline again?
What was my tagline again?
Your Instagram tagline.
I was like, I have a catchphrase and I don't even know it. Is it about bath salts making my house smell like a spa? The Busy Mum PT. Follow me, the Busy Mum PT, and sign up for Momentum for Mums.
Do you do online coaching as well?
Momentum for Mums is all online.
Right.
So it's like, for the whole idea is that, like, for busy mums that can't work out a routine schedule, like ideally all mums would go to like small group personal training, they would find their gym and they would stick at it, but realistically, like, you'll know yourself, I don't know what your wife gets up to, but I'm sure she'll sign up.
My wife's busy, trust me.
Well, this is it, she needs me.
She's my wife, what does she do? My wife's training for the coal race in Kelty.
Amazing.
So she's doing that. She does a class right at the back of that. I think it's just like a boxercise course. She plays the guitar in my band on a Wednesday, and she does a fitness class on Thursday. That's why I just go straight to Nogi at 8. Right, so she gets to do plenty of stuff there.
Good man, I love that. But that's what it should be like. But in a lot of relationships, it's not. It's just like the men get to go to golf, the men get to go to football, and it's just like...
Nah, it's not fair.
It's not equal. It needs to be equal. You both
need it. It does have
it.
to be equal, definitely.
Absolutely. Again, a lot of life lessons have been learned. But yeah, so Momentum for Mums is an online coaching programme for mums that can't fit workouts into the routine, or maybe their husband works away, or they have lack of childcare, or some mums that just don't feel comfortable going to a gym. So it's like they need me to like help build their confidence, remove gym anxiety. So there's that, and then I've got mum classes starting soon for all mums, not just for new mums. I thought that was so important to me. Yeah, and then I do like a monthly event for mums so that they can all come and work out and build a community. Yeah, I just really want to get more mums moving, and it sounds like so cliche. It sounds like, you know, why does she care? But as I say, I'm really not financially driven. I just want to help people. So yeah, I want mums to realise that they don't need to sacrifice themselves and to do something for them. So yeah, follow the Busy Mum PT. What can my catchphrase be? Get more mums moving.
We'll work on it.
We'll work on it. I need to figure it out. God.
And again, thanks very much for coming. And
Thanks for listening to
no,
me.
it's been great. Was Aunt Carl been alright?
Yeah, your ear sore, the bleeding.
Thanks very much, and everybody, thanks very much for listening. Cheers.
Yeah, thank you.